Hey everyone, I'm Becky.
I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we are talking about, is it The Kingdom of Back or just Kingdom of Back? It's one of those by Marie Lu. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Because
I could look.
Which I got off of Edelweiss. Where did you?
It's The Kingdom of Back.
It's The Kingdom of Back.
And I got it off Edelweiss.
It's the book with the beautiful cover.
It is a gorgeous cover.
It's probably one of the prettiest covers of the year.
It's true.
So this book...
But she has good covers.
She does. Penguin is supportive of her in that way. This book takes place in, is it the 1700s or the 1800s?
It takes with Wolfgang Amadeus
Mozart
was alive.
before Marie Antoinette was killed.
No, it's probably the early 1700s because near the end of the book they're talking about the American Revolution. So
okay, and so this book is about the Mozarts.
Yes, tell me more.
We had a hard time with this book. So it's about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's older sister, mostly Nannerl. I'm gonna say, and basically
I called her Nan in my head.
And so basically, she was an aspiring musician, and she was writing compositions, and she was like in her early teens, and she was going to be this great piano prodigy. And then her little brother, who kind of got famous later, wanders up to the piano, but they don't call it a piano, and he starts playing music from his just memory when he's 4. And so they become like this musical, they become kind of like a package deal, and they go around playing for different nobles. So that's one part of the story. The other part of the story is that they kind of get lured into this fairy realm by an evil fairy who they don't know is evil. So is that a spoiler?
Yeah, probably.
But aren't all fairies evil?
I feel like yes.
I'll mark it maybe. I'll mark it as a
Actually,
spoiler.
no, you probably should mark it as a spoiler because he kind of starts off as a good fairy.
All fairies are evil.
Could potentially be like a romance.
This is like a basic fact of anything, but he should know.
Fairies are evil.
Fairies are evil. They manipulate you. And so...
What about Tinkerbell?
Anyway. Well, Tinkerbell was jealous of Wendy.
That's true. We're not going down that road.
Anyway. And so there's If
you can think of not evil fairies, please comment below.
And then I'll argue with you. And so they keep getting pulled into this mystery in the fairy realm, and they're going back and forth, and it kind of goes from there. And Nannerl is worried about growing up, and then she's also jealous of her little brother, but she also really loves her little brother, and he's sickly, and that's basically the book. As you can tell, this was difficult.
I kind of wonder if I would have liked it better had I listened to it.
I kind of wonder too, and I was kind of waiting to for the audiobook, but then I was because I loved Warcross. So I was when the art came up on Edelweiss, I was let's try it.
Well, it sounded so interesting.
It did sound interesting, and so I really liked the historical fiction aspect of it. But I found the stuff in fairy boring.
See, and I guess I had expected there to be more fairy and more world building in fairy.
There was no world building. It didn't feel like a Marie Lu book.
Yeah, the world building just wasn't there.
Because her world building is usually incredible.
And it felt weird. why is there this random fairy story going on, in this historical... It just didn't mesh.
Well, and,
I was bored.
There's been...
I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. But, it was hard for me.
But once I got reading it, because it is Marie Lu, so it is technically written very well.
I mean, it's well written. Just plot-wise...
It just didn't work for me. Parts of it didn't work, because other parts, I really enjoyed. But, I mean, I've read in many places that she started writing this in college, and this was, how she got her first agent, and it couldn't get published, and they're publishing it now, and I can kind of see why that happened.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it's all there. Just, realistically, it just didn't work for me.
But there really isn't all that amount of, emotions, even. You don't really know them.
Don't know them? Nothing happened? I don't feel better for have read about them.
But that being said, I was interested enough in the historical fiction, I was on Wikipedia looking her up. So, the historical fiction part got me. It was just, the fairy part, which is usually the other way around. I'm not a big historical fiction reader.
I love historical fiction. I don't know. I keep thinking about that Simpsons episode with the Mozarts in it.
I don't
But
watch
anyway.
The Simpsons, even though I have Disney Plus, so I can watch all the Simpsons anytime I want.
Well, aren't you special?
I'm actually starting to feel I'm having issues with Disney Plus, but that's a whole different story.
I won't let them run my life. Don't do it.
So, but I don't even know if there's anything else to say.
We keep having like all of these like tangents in this video. We just need to like wrap this baby
Which I kind
up.
of think says the point of the book. Like, the book just didn't grab us.
Yeah.
The cover's gorgeous. It might have been better as an audiobook, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't get there.
Mm-mm.
So we should rate it. Our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We go down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
2.
Well, that was fast.
It's a 2.
I'm at a 3, and mostly just because I like the historical fiction and I cared enough about her to Google. But, I mean,
I feel like I didn't learn much about the Mozarts.
I learned stuff on Wikipedia.
And I wasn't grabbed by the story.
Yeah. So that is where we are in the Kingdom of Back.
All right. See you around.
Bye.